So welcome back everybody. So today I'm going to be discussing red flags in hair transplant clinics, in particular Turkish clinics. So we're going to go over all of the things that you should be watching out for, and if you see them, you better run. So first things first, please like and subscribe if you like what's the content coming out. I'm getting a lot of engagement. People are emailing me their stories, and hopefully I'll be discussing those stories and exposing these clinics who are butchering people. So please comment, send in your stories. You can email me on avoidthisclinic@gmail.com. And I'm also quite keen to shout out good work as well. So if you've had a particularly good job, especially in a Turkish clinic, let me know. We can shout out the good work and the good doctors as well. But for now, I want to bring awareness to the red flags that people encounter, especially in Turkish clinics. So let's get straight into it. So number one is when they promise you maximum grafts. So this is a real theme among the Turkish hair mills. They promise you 5,000 to 6,000 grafts, even if you don't need it. So you could have a very small amount of a receding hairline at the front, and they'll still give you 5,000 grafts, even when it probably requires 1,500 or 2,000. This is doing quite a lot of things. This is wasting grafts. And because they're not skilled in managing the donor area, they're damaging that donor area. They are slaughtering the donor area for next time. So in any patient, usually the hair keeps receding behind where the hair has been transplanted. So you might need another transplant in the future. But if they take away your donor area, you're not going to be able to get a transplant in the future. So they're completely wasting your potential for the future. And if you look at Asli Tarcan, which is where I went, and that's, if you want to watch that video, you can go back and watch it, where I talk about my experience there. They pressure people to take grafts from them. So if you look at Rio P, who's an American guy who went to Asli Tarcan, he said that in the consultation he was pretty much fighting with them to not take more grafts than they needed to, and they were pressuring him to take more grafts. On forums, I've read that they're getting pressured to take more grafts. There's a guy called Fred, real scumbag by all accounts. He works for Asli Tarcan. He pressures people in the consultation to take more grafts. And it can be quite an overwhelming feeling when you're in a consultation, you're anxious to get your operation started, and you cede to authority. Naturally, people cede to authority. You think, yeah, these guys know what they're doing, I'm going to trust them. But that's why I'm trying to do this channel, because I want to bring awareness to people so that they know what to look for when they're getting a transplant. They're not going to be suckered in by promises of maximum grafts and the full coverage of hair. They know exactly what to say to these people and when to leave. Because if you're getting pressured like that, all right, they might give in to your demands, but they're going to mess up somewhere else. So that's a big thing to watch out for. This cookie cutter approach of 5,000 to 6,000 grafts is not what a proper clinic does. And anyway, even if you're fully bald, usually the best clinics will suggest you a step-by-step transformation. So most of the time they won't do everything in one mega session. They'll do it over the course of 2 to 3 sessions, which I know can be a bit annoying and it's time consuming and you have to wait a long time. But those transformations always look better than the one and done, one hit a quitter Turkish approach, where you end up with a terrible recipient area and a really butchered donor area. So maximum grafts, you hear that phrase, you hear 5,000 to 6,000 grafts, be wary. So number two is when they advertise cheap deals. So I'm just looking at here we go, Este Grande. So somebody sent me a message about Este Grande. They butchered him. And just looking at it straight away, the first thing that screams out at me is hair mill. They're offering a 50% off. So 50% off straight away. Like, why are you offering a 50% special discount straight away? That means you're desperate for as many numbers as possible. You're not offering a quality service. I'm sorry, this is not a sale at your favorite high street clothing store. This is surgery. This is surgery on your head. It's going to affect you for many, many years to come. Why are you offering a 50% discount? We'll talk about that as well. So that when you see that, 2,000 euros breakfast and hotel and transport, like, okay, all of us want a good deal, all of us want to save money 100%, But when you see that, you need to think, why are they so desperate? If you went on Groupon, or if you went on one of these discount websites and you saw that deal, would you go for it? Of course you wouldn't. So be wary. This is your head that you're spending money on. And hair transplants are not like other commodities where one hair transplant is the same as another. There are levels to this. So you're going to have to pay more for a better result. Granted, you might find bargains sometimes at certain clinics, but generally you get what you pay for when it comes to this type of thing. And I can understand, again, why people go there. Because at that time, I wanted to save money. When I went and did mine with Asli Tarcan in 2018, I wanted to save money. And it's a big thing amongst young guys, and especially ethnics. Now I'm talking as an Arab from London, especially among ethnics. They're looking to save a buck. They don't want to spend money, but that's why the hair comes out like crap. But a lot of guys don't care about that. They just want to make sure they have hair on their head. They don't care how natural it looks. They don't consider any of the finer details. They just want a cheap deal and they want to have hair on their head. But you, my friend, are going to be much more educated than that once you've heard these videos. So cheap deals, forget about it. If you have to spend a bit more, spend a bit more. Okay, and number 3, red flag number 3. So no doctor involvement. So if you go to a clinic and they can't tell you the doctor's name who's going to be doing the surgery, or if that doctor who they are claiming is going to do your surgery has no verifiable results online, do not go to that clinic. If the salespeople can't give you a straight answer as to the doctor's involvement, avoid it. So when you ask those salespeople, who is the doctor and what are they going to be doing during the operation? If they give you like a vague response saying, oh, we all work as a team, blah, 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 you need to be wary. You need to know who the doctor is. You need to know who you're paying for. Because at the end of the day, the doctor is the most trained and most skilled. They can watch out for complications, and they should be involved in, at least they should be involved in the planning of your transplant. They should be involved in the incisions of your transplant as well. So the initial incisions into your head are the most important. They need to be involved in that. Now, granted, you can get really good technicians who have been trained very well, and they're part of a team and they do a very good job. In the top clinics, you will always have really good technicians who have been trained by that doctor. But in hair mills like Asli Tarcan and Este, Grande, they've got technicians who, I kid you not, they've come off the street. They're young girls. In my operation, they were young girls. They weren't nurses. They're not medically qualified. They've just been given a little bit of training by the doctor and they go into town on your head. They're unprofessional. They're not engaged in what they're doing. So these people, like, either way, they could be good, they could be bad, but most of the time they're very poor, average to poor. So make sure you know who that doctor is. Make sure you've seen verifiable results, that they've got a track record. And if you don't know who the doctor is and you are not certain about what their involvement will be in your operation, then my friend, you're probably going to get a taxi driver or a housewife working on your head. Nothing wrong with either of those professions, but not when it comes to working on your head. Okay, so number 4. So vague patient results. So you need to be going to forums, you need to be going to YouTube videos, and you need to be looking at long-term patient results. So you need to be seeing patients after 1 year who have got a wicked result. And when you do, you need to go and you need to message them and interact with them and speak to them. If you can't see these people online, you can't just rely on the clinic to be putting out results, because they're cherry picking results. And to be honest, in a lot of the cases of Turkish hair mills, they're stealing pictures. I've seen so many cases where they've stolen them from other clinics. Obviously, they're going to cherry pick their best results, because even the hair mills are going to do 1 or 2 good results here and there. But you need to go to the source, find patients who have got good results, either in person. Like I said, forums, Hair Restoration Network is a great place. YouTube videos. There are a lot of people out there with YouTube videos. Go and message and comment and message those people. But yeah, and when it comes to these hair mills, a lot of the times they'll post results, but they won't show the donor. There's even one guy online who recently had a transplant with Asli Tarcan. He's from London. He shows up from the front. It looks like a great result, but when he turned his head, you can clearly see they've over harvested, because it looks exactly the same as mine. So don't be fooled by just pictures from the front and cherry pick pictures. Go and find people who have had the procedure and speak to them. And a lot of the time, unfortunately, people who've had botches won't talk about it. They're embarrassed. They won't talk about it. So you're more than likely only going to find people who've had good results talking about it, because they want to show it off. So beware. Okay, red flag number 6. So here's one that I've clocked. When they're trying to upsell special techniques. So a normal hair transplant is usually done by FUT or FUE. So FUE is the most common one, is follicular unit extraction. All hair transplant places do FUE. Now, what you will find is that a lot of the hair mills, let's go to the Este, Grande website. So they are offering upsells, and the upsells are, where are they? So I believe it's Sapphire FUE hair transplant, DHI hair transplant, Ice FUE transplant. And if we go to Asli Tarcan, they're offering DHI transplant and Sapphire transplant as an upsell to FUE transplant. So there is debate amongst the best hair transplant doctors, and I mean the best, guys like Mwamba, guys like people who are the best in the field, over whether DHI, which stands for direct hair implantation, is more effective than just normal FUE. But that's amongst the top doctors. And if you are a top doctor and you go to a top doctor, they'll give you a great result regardless what technique they'll use. With just the normal FUE hair transplant, they'll give you a brilliant result. But what these Turkish hair mills are trying to do, they're trying to play on people's ignorance about what a hair transplant is, and they're trying to just make more money. If you come and get this DHI transplant, you're going to have a better result. If you pay 300 euros extra, you're going to get a better result. It's not true. If you're a shit technician, if you're a shit doctor, you're going to get shit results. You're not going to get good results. It doesn't matter what technique you can do. You can't put a silk cat on a pig at the end of the day. So don't be fooled by these upsell techniques. A good clinic will get you a good result with the tools that they have and with the method that fits your hair. Don't be fooled by these upsell techniques, because most of these hair mills don't know what to do regardless of the technique they're using. So just be careful. So number 6 is a lack of ethics. So here's the thing, not everybody who goes for a hair transplant is going to be a good candidate, and the ethical doctors will turn you away if you're not a good candidate, even though they're going to be losing out on money. So some people are too young. Like if you're a 20-year-old, you shouldn't be getting a hair transplant. No ethical doctor would be operating on you at 20 years old. If you have like a rect donor area or below average donor area with not too many hairs, and the hairs are not too strong or they're miniaturized, you're probably not a good candidate. And there are doctors who will turn you away, and it's unfortunate because you might be angry at the time, but they'll turn you away for the greater good. Where, like, there was a guy on Reddit, he messaged me, he told me that Este Grande operated on him and he was 19 years old. And not only that, they did an awful job on his hair. They wrecked his donor and they implanted hair at all different angles. His confidence was destroyed, and he was 19 years old. Lack of ethics. They're not planning for the future. They don't care about the future, because if you're 19 years old and you're losing hair, you're going to continue to lose hair behind the transplanted area. And then once that happens, your hair is going to look ridiculous. So they don't consider that. They just want the money. They just want to do the operation. And they wrecked this young man's life. So if they're willing to operate on anybody and everybody, they're probably not a good clinic. So number 7, red flag number 7 are fake reviews. Well, obviously, some people might say, how would I know it's fake? Well, first of all, Trustpilot and Google reviews are full of fake reviews. So Asli Tarcan, they had so many fake reviews. I remember when I posted my negative review, the next day there were 10 positive ones to drown it out. They all got kind of the same generic, poor language, poor English, and they just sound like a sales pitch for the clinic. Like, they're not giving intimate details of what happened. It's just a sales pitch. Oh, the Dr. Asli Tarcan is well known, blah 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 blah. So don't trust Trustpilot and Google reviews. It goes back to my earlier point. Go and find patients who've been there. Look for real people who you can message and talk to. And I think the final one here will be TikTok style marketing. So obviously social media is big these days, and most people, their first port of call will be to go to the Instagram page, or maybe to the YouTube page, or to the TikTok. But a lot of these places have style over substance because they have no substance. They don't have real results. They're not producing top-notch results in people, so they have to resort to wacky TikTok style videos to get people's attention and to draw in customers. So if we look at this video here, it's this is from Asli Tarcan's channel, and you've got this absolute clown. Let me just pull up this video. You've got this clown Fred, who's been talked about in many situations from people who've been to Asli Tarcan. So here he's doing a consultation with this guy. Now, poor guy, I'm not cussing the guy. He's done nothing wrong. So you can see Fred is drawing. So I'll just play this. He's drawing a hairline on the guy. And that's all well and good. So the guy is looking forward to the next phase of his life. He's getting his hairline drawn on. He's finally going to get rid of the chrome dome. Fred's drawing it. Let me just fast forward a little bit. So he's drawing it, showing it to the guy in the mirror, and now he's going to make the guy lose his dignity and do a little dance. But little does this guy know is that he's going to the slaughterhouse. He's probably going to the slaughterhouse. Now, I don't know how this guy's hair transplant turned around, but it's pathetic stuff. Like, you're making the guy dance. Here we got another one. He's drawing. Let me just turn that down. He's drawing a hairline on the guy. He's got this woman with him. And now these two are going to role play. Fred's acting a bit weird, doing stupid stuff with the woman. You can see he's giving her the pen and she taps him on the head. Like, again, some people might find this lighthearted and funny. Personally, when I'm going to clinic, I want professionalism and I want to know that I'm in good hands and that they're going to get me a good result. I don't care about any of this garbage. There's a lot more. I didn't find a lot. Some of you may think this is nothing, but to me, like, this kind of stuff is unnecessary and pretty pathetic. You've got this clown Fred in his tight trousers. Yeah, just making things a bit of a joke. Like, if I'm having my consultation, I want to be talking to you. I want to be discussing the process with the doctor. I want to be knowing exactly what is going to happen in the surgery. I don't want this guy playing about and making me dance and role playing with a woman. Like, this is not what a serious clinic does. Like, I'm going to get a repair in next month, and for sure the doctor Mwamba will not be doing that with me. And if he did, I'd have to think twice. Like, what is this guy doing? So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope I haven't talked too much. Those are the red flags. If you like what's happening, please comment and subscribe and like the video. Send me any cases of your own. If you've had a bad experience in a Turkish hair mill, if you've had a good experience in a Turkish clinic, because there are some ones that do good work, please send them to me. And yeah, let's just keep it going. Let's keep the engagement. We need to get these clinics, we need to put them out of business. These clinics that are destroying young men's lives who don't know any better, they're destroying people's lives. We need to put them out of business. But anyway, guys, thank you, and I'll speak to you next time. So welcome back, everybody. So today I'm going to be discussing red flags in